Since releasing our documentary Minimalism to Netflix back in December, I've gotten this question a lot. How can you possibly be a minimalist and a filmmaker at the same time? On the surface, this question might seem like it's based on a misunderstanding of what minimalism actually is, but truthfully, I think it comes from filmmakers who are paralyzed with choices. Companies and peers sell them on the gear that they absolutely need to have. Just like the average consumer, they've become inundated with options. The underlying assumption? You need more stuff. As a filmmaker, I've acquired a lot of stuff over the years. I've got lenses, tripods, cables and batteries, cameras and camera stabilizers. I've got mics and drones. The simple truth that any decent filmmaker will tell you is that the tool doesn't matter. That you could go out and shoot a feature film with an iPhone, and if the content is good enough, it will succeed. I completely agree with this, and at the same time, totally disagree. Let me explain. Every couple years, I make a big investment. Usually it means buying a new camera. And every single time I do this, I have family and friends tell me that I'm insane. When it first happened, I was buying a Canon 5D Mark II for over $3,000. I didn't have the money, I couldn't even afford rent at the time, so I had to borrow it from my parents. Everyone I talked to thought that I was a complete idiot. The camera you have is fine, they said. How much better could this one be? Listen, if I stopped buying new cameras with the first one I'd ever bought, I'd still be using a plastic Sony Handycam recording to tape. I doubt I could find a client who'd take me seriously. The tool is crucial, but the mindset is way more important. You should be focusing relentlessly on getting better, building upon each project, learning from them to create something even better tomorrow. The first $100 I ever made as a filmmaker, I reinvested entirely back into my business. I bought a pair of headphones. It was a small investment, but it was the smartest decision I ever made. It wasn't the headphones that brought me success, but the idea of reinvesting and committing myself to this craft. I continued to reinvest a majority of the money I made back into my business and subsequently back into myself. The content you make can be split into two categories. You have the art and you have the craft. The art is where the message is. How do you want to tell your story? What are you trying to get across? The craft is where the quality is important. Give Scorsese my old Sony Handycam and he'd create a masterpiece. Though I doubt Van Gogh would balk at the opportunity for better art supplies. If you're just getting started, use your iPhone, borrow a camera from a friend. But if you want to improve your craft, then the minute you start to make money from it, reinvest it back into your craft. So, should you get a drone, a camera stabilizer, slider, or any of the other cool gear that's sold to you? I think that's the wrong question to ask. You should be focusing on creating the best content you can. It might be better to ask yourself, how can I get better? It might mean buying new equipment, but it might also mean taking a course or reading a book. Honestly, to me, there's no better feeling than reviewing footage with a friend after a long shoot. As you scroll through the clips, you find maybe 1-2 takes where you just nailed it. The lighting, composition, everything is just on point. It's hard to describe that feeling, but that's what I live for as a filmmaker. That's why I buy new gear. It's not because I want that new cool thing. It's because I'm trying to make the best film I possibly can. So yes, the tool is important just as pants are important. Find the right fit at the right price, but once you've got it, stop obsessing, put your pants on, and get to work.